In this segment, we will be showing how to contour cut longer printed designs. When printing longer designs, there is a chance that the print will slightly warp. And when cutting, it doesn't take much to create accuracy issues. Even the slightest distortion can cause problems. These types of distortions are sometimes a normal event, and they may not be particularly noticeable, but they need to be addressed within the registration mark system. This is where Graphtec's segmented registration marks are useful. As an example, here we have a design that is approximately 10 feet in length. In this case, besides 4 registration marks on the corners, we need to add registration marks along the sides and perhaps at both ends of the design as well. The segmented registration marks help in that as the registration marks are scanned, the registration mark system can catch any warping that has occurred during printing and make a correction to the contouring cut line. Let's demonstrate how segmented registration marks are created and what they look like. Let's open up the registration mark generator by clicking on the File pull-down menu. Hover over Cutting Master 4 and click on Registration Marks. Here there are only 3 settings to be concerned with. The first one is the registration mark pattern. If we look at the list of registration mark patterns, there are these 4 segmented registration mark type patterns at the bottom of the list that we can choose from. Let's go ahead and choose Graphtec Segment Area Type 2. The next setting is the X step. This determines the distance between each mark. This can be set to 15 inches. Take note that the lower the distance, the more accurate the cut is, but it takes longer to scan all the registration marks, so there's a balance to be struck. The last setting is whether you are placing them horizontally or vertically. In this case, we can keep them horizontal and click OK. Let's zoom in a little. Notice that the registration marks are placed on the top and the bottom of the design, from end to end. Let's undo this and return to the registration mark generator. In some cases, there may be a need to place registration marks both horizontally as well as vertically. In those cases, there is another segmented registration mark pattern, the Graphtec XY segment area. This will place registration marks on both the top and bottom as well as the sides. Let's select Type 2 and click OK. Once again, if we zoom in, we can view how they are placed. As mentioned, they are placed at the top and bottom of the design and along the vertical sides. What these registration mark patterns will do is allow the FC9000 to capture any distortions that have occurred during the printing process. And since they are both horizontal and vertical, it will cut accurately in both of those directions. Let's go through the process of cutting the design. Click on the File pull-down menu, hover over Cutting Master 4, and click on Cut Plot. When the Cut Plot window appears, this message may occur. The reason is if you look at the media display area, the design is rotated. This may be due to a previous job where it was rotated that way. Let's click OK and simply rotate the job back. You may notice that the registration marks are missing. That's because the system removed them. It is assuming that if the job design is going to be cut rotated, you don't need the registration marks. To bring them back, simply click on the registration mark tab and then click on the Use Registration Mark box to enable the registration marks. Once this is done, the job is ready to cut.